On the eve of retirement, Summit Schools Superintendent Kerry Buhler reflects on her tenure. Phil Lindeman, Krystal, 93 News. First, a tanker driver was injured this morning in a crash on Loveland Pass. Master Trooper Gary Cutler with Colorado State Patrol.
We had a semi-hauling diesel that didn't negotiate the curve and rolled.
The rollover happened at 9:50, about a mile and a half past a basin. The driver's injuries were moderate.
Fortunately, it did stay on the roadway, and that was one of the problems there between the semi blocking the road as well as the fuel that was being leaked out onto the roadway.
30 to 40 gallons of diesel spilled before hazmat crews arrived. Cleanup was quick, and tow trucks are now moving the semi off the highway. US 6 should reopen by 7 or 8 at the latest. No other vehicles were injured, and the driver was cited on scene. No info yet on the ticket. A mental health crisis in Dillon Valley last night ended peacefully when a suicidal man threatening to harm himself with a firearm surrendered to police. Summit County Sheriff confirms no one was injured. The man was not arrested and is now getting treatment. We've got results from yesterday's primary, and Summit did not always swing the same as other counties. Republican State Senate candidate Deborah Irvine of Breckenridge beat Carbondale's Bob Rankin by 1% locally, but lost the nomination by 27%. Democratic State Senate candidate Arn Menconi beat Carl Hanlon by 3% locally, but lost the nomination by 12%. In other races, District Attorney candidate Heidi McCollum beat Braden Angel for the Democratic nomination, and John Hickenlooper topped Andrew Romanoff for the U.S. Senate. He faces Republican Cory Gardner in November. Biggest upset locally was the Republican U.S. House race in District 3, including Eagle County, where challenger Lauren Boebert beat five-time incumbent Scott Tipton. Boebert made national news in May for reopening her rifle restaurant in defiance of local health orders and faced litigation before the case was dropped when the state reopened restaurants anyway. Governor Jared Polis has unveiled guidelines for Protect Our Neighbors, Stage 3 of Colorado's COVID recovery plan.
A regional approach that allows for greater flexibility in areas that are successful in suppressing the virus, where local outbreaks are managed and detected early by a strong local health department.
Protect Our Neighbors updates the variance waiver request, giving local health departments power to approve new capacity limits, activities, and business, like reopening bars, ordered to close by end of the day today.
So in Protect Our Neighbors, we can find a way to do really everything we want to do. It's just with precautions, with guidelines, in a safe way.
Local reopening depends on testing, tracing, and hospital capacity. So how are things looking at St. Anthony's in Frisco? Dr. Mark Doucette of the Emergency Department.
We're looking good. Our capacity is fine. We're not strained or stressed in terms of capacity or in terms of personal protective equipment or staff.
COVID put a dent in ER traffic this March and April when it dipped to less than half of normal. But with summer crowds come summer injuries, and volume is back to 80% of average.
It's a busy time for us in the summer, typically. July almost rivals the ski season months. It can be pretty busy.
Is Dr. Doucette worried that more visitors will overrun capacity?
We do still have that concern with a lot of tourists coming in, that the possibility of seeing a comeback of COVID in our community is certainly there, and we stress, just like all the public health officials do, to be vigilant, and we're being vigilant.
Summit County yesterday announced free expanded testing through the hospital, now open to anyone with or without symptoms at 5 sites countywide. No doctor's note required. This week on the State of Summit, outgoing Superintendent Kerry Buhler reflects on COVID, construction, and more in her tenure with Summit Schools.
Obviously, our community has grown and become more diverse, which has been a wonderful celebration, I think, for all of us who live in Summit County.
That was Buhler in late June, reflecting on 25 years with the school district, starting as a teacher and principal for Upper Blue Elementary before moving to superintendent in 2016.
The educational process is part of learning, of growing, of failing, of making mistakes and getting back up again.
Starting in 2015, the district revised its master plan and passed a bond measure in 2016 in preparation for a growing student body.
We had these big groups of kids coming through the elementary level that would meet and get to the middle school and then to the high school, and we really didn't have room for them.
Buhler guided 2 years and $70 million worth of capital improvements, like expansions at the high school and middle school and tech upgrades district-wide.
We have been able to not only correct some deficiencies around roofs and HVAC systems and plumbing, but we have really made our schools into 21st century learning hubs.
She did not know it then, but those tech upgrades were vital when COVID-19 closed schools in March this year.
We were well suited to be able to send kids home with their technology and then battle all the challenges of online learning for everybody.
Buhler never expected to end her tenure with empty classrooms, but she will not let COVID or the uncertain future of schooling statewide disrupt her calling.
Looking forward to a future that I'm not sure what it has for me, but still have lots of energy and still have lots of passion for education.
Tune in again next Wednesday for The State of Summit on Krystal 93.
Last time the wolf cried.
That is New Family Dog of Nederland, playing 10 Mile Music Hall tomorrow for Town of Frisco's Concerts Not in the Park series. A limited number of in-person tables are sold out, but you can tune in virtually through the Visit Frisco Facebook page. Concert starts 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, benefiting the Summit Musicians Relief Fund. In sports, today is opening day of MLB Spring Training Summer Edition, and the Rockies are doing the outfield shuffle. Charlie Blackmon is still out after testing positive for coronavirus. Ian Desmond is not playing this season in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. And just yesterday, Colorado signed All-Star Matt Kemp on a one-year minor league contract. Season openers are July 23rd and 24th. And in local sports, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Weiss Agency, yesterday was opening day of the Vail Rec Mountain Bike Series, with waves of no more than 10 leaving the start line in Eagle Ranch, where Theo Kruger won the men's beginner title and Molly Roberts won the women's crown. Andre Stiacaza was fastest boy on the course. Anna Paula Reynal was fastest girl. Racing today are sport, expert, and pro divisions, leaving the start line moments ago. Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93 News.